Alright, guys, today I'm going to be talking about NFL teams who I believe will be changing up quarterbacks next season. And with that being said, let's just jump straight into it. And the Browns, as much as I love Jameis Winston, I just think that it's clear he's not the answer for Cleveland. The Browns will have a higher pick, but this class is a little bit weaker than some past classes. I do believe, though, no matter what the starter will end up being, it's going to not be a player from their current roster. I like Dorian Thompson Robinson, but I think we've seen him play enough to know he's not going to end up being the answer for Cleveland. And if the Vikings let someone like Sam Darnold hit free agency, if you guys might recall, in 2018, I guess the Browns could have drafted him. A little bit of a different story, though. I could honestly see him fitting into Stefanski's offense pretty solid. It's kind of hard to tell what the Vikings will do with Darnold, and personally, I don't know what I would do as the Vikings. Obviously, the Browns were kind of banking on Deshaun Watson to be good this year. It's pretty obvious to about anyone who watched him play that he wasn't. I had some hopes that he could end up being good for them. You know, we all make bad predictions. But moving on here to the Seahawks is a bit of a spicy take, but let's be honest for a second, guys. Do we truly believe that Geno Smith is a Super Bowl quarterback? I'm not 100% sure that the Seahawks as a team are contenders, but at the same time, I think this is a very solid squad and they could make a strong run in the playoffs. And they could definitely enter a bit of a, championship window here. But just with a better quarterback, I think this team could really excel. And I understand why the Seahawks re signed him a couple years ago. And I do believe that re signing him made the most sense, right? A couple years ago, it made the most sense. And even right now, it's still holding up to be the right move. But this is going to be a great season for the Seahawks to go ahead and draft Smith's future replacement. And I think Smith will definitely be the starter next year. This is the only team where I'll actually say that about the quarterback, but they definitely need to get his replacement in line. It's clear Sam Howell isn't that, right? There's a lot of reports that in training camp he looked like he might end up the quarterback three. But I think it is clear the Seahawks do need to go ahead and try to get his replacement because if they don't, they might end up running out of time to do so. Now, moving on to the Jets, Rodgers might have been the answer for the Jets last season, but I think when they traded for him, they didn't think he'd be the quarterback past this season in 24. And in my opinion, it always felt like a 2 year deal. Now, they did extend him to a 3 year deal after getting him, which was definitely too much considering the contract was signed when he was already 39. We know he's not the answer next season. There'll be a new coach and new GM, and I believe that duo will be choosing a new quarterback. Now, with Rodgers signed through next year, they'll have to take some dead cap to maybe cut him. But if we're being honest, I don't think it makes sense for any team to go out there and trade for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like the other teams mentioned on this list, obviously the Seahawks need to get younger. Geno Smith will be like 36 by the time they have to re-sign him next. With that being said, I think the Jets will end up having to take the cap casualty there and will end up cutting Rodgers. Now, for the Raiders next up, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ritter isn't a very inspiring quarterback room. With most likely a top four pick, which will honestly maybe even be the first overall with how it's looking, the Raiders will be in a prime spot to get one of the better quarterbacks from this class. They could obviously go the free agency or trade route, but I don't think that'll be the way they go. I think this season it's the Raiders' best interest to get younger and fresher at the quarterback position. Obviously, like I said, Rodgers wouldn't work. And oh, sorry guys. And it's clear that Kirk Cousins might not be that guy anymore. And was Kirk Cousins ever truly that guy? Probably not. But it was pretty fun to watch Cousins for some years. But the Raiders will most likely be landing Shadur. And I feel like Shadur kind of feels like a Raiders quarterback. I don't know what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good day and come back for some more. I might make a part two to this because a lot of teams may be changing quarterbacks. So go ahead and hit that bell and whatnot and whatever they say just to go ahead and get notified for that. I hope you guys really did enjoy. Have a good one.